Well, hello and good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have a very special webinar for you tonight. And the reason is because we have something very special that we are launching on Monday, November 25th, and that is the new, improved, revamped DNA University. And you guys are here to get a sneak peek and information about that and about how getting a certification with us here at the DNA University for your certification of functional genomics practitioner and all the wonderful benefits that we have to offer in the DNA University is really going to help you transform client care. And so we're going to be diving into some of the advantages of that, speaking into what some of those changes are, how that can help you, and how sharing some stories of how it has helped the clients that we have worked with here at the DNA company. So I want to welcome you. And first of all, hello for all of you who may not know who I am. My name is Dr. Lara Varden. I am a PhD, and I am your dean of the DNA University. And I have such an immense pleasure of having my associate dean here with me tonight, Dr. Lachlan Crawford. We're going to be introducing ourselves a little bit more thoroughly in just a moment. But I wanted to give a little more insight on things that you will be learning this evening. So not just what I told you, but also the fact that, learning about the courses on functional genomics, epigenetics, really diving into the understanding of how what we do, the information we are providing, the testing we are providing really works into personalized medicine to give you the tools to elevate your client care, to elevate your practice. Also talking about practical ways on how to integrate these genetic insights into your practice so that way you can have some better outcomes. And talking about why precision health services is truly a game changer, how this is going to help grow your business. So without further ado, let me give you a little bit of information and background on myself. So, like I said, I am a PhD. I'm not an MD or an ND, but the information of my experience really delves into what my PhD was in. It was in interdisciplinary biosciences and biotechnology. Yes, a mouthful. And the specialties that I worked on was in biomedical sciences, cellular biology, molecular genetics, biochemistry, and neuroscience. I've also done a lot of advanced research training in stem cells and regenerative medicine from the Marine Biological Laboratory in Woods Hole, Massachusetts. I'm also a National Science Foundation Graduate Research Fellow. Some of my certifications: I am a board certified holistic health practitioner. I'm a licensed ecclesiastical holistic practitioner. I am certified in functional genomics. I'm also certified as a functional nutrition and lifestyle counselor with additional training in root cause protocols. I have been working in the clinical capacity with the DNA for 2 years now and loving every moment of it, especially in this fast growing field in genetics and in using that information and the growing science. It is just evolving so much every day, really applying that to personalized medicine. So without further ado, I would love to introduce my Associate Dean, Dr. Lachlan Crawford, and let her take it away to give her a little bit about herself. Hello and
Thank you
welcome.
very much, Dr. Varden. Thank you. Wonderful welcome. It's a real treat for me to be here. This is the launch of me really watching this burgeoning field just really explode at this really exciting time. So I am extremely happy to be here and really excited to help you as practitioners really grow your practice and use this tool. This is a tool that I wish I had earlier in my practice. So I just, it's such a joy to be here and to share it and to really help educate folks and to grow this field. So a little bit about myself. I am a naturopathic doctor, so doctor in naturopathic medicine. I also have training in contemplative psychotherapy as well as integrative psychiatry. That's my main focus is in psychiatry, but of course we can't parse out the different systems, and psychiatry is related to the gut, is related to the digestive system, is related to the immune system, is related to everything. So, um, you know, it's a whole systems approach. So integrative psychiatry is going to touch everything. And those three trainings really gave me a foundation, and it really gave me three pieces that I really focus on in my clinical practice. I really focus on the whole person. So as I said, no system is separate from any other system, and that's the functional genomics piece that we're going to get to tonight. Um, Prevention is really big. Doctor as teacher is one of the tenets of medicine that I really believe in, and that's why I'm here. That's why I'm Associate Dean. That's why we're working together to bring this to you. And then also really importantly, I really believe in meeting the patient where they're at and really giving them individualized medicine. Gone are the days of having standardized kind of cut and dried medicine where you come in with one problem and you look it up in the DSM and here's your treatment and that's it. It's like throwing darts at a board. It's not always going to work, and we need to really be able to treat people individually. And that's what the DNAU is going to allow us to do, is to treat our patients in that really effective, individualized way. So that's a really it's a passion of mine. I'm also on the board of the Psychiatric Association of Naturopathic Doctors, which is an organization whose mission is to raise the standard of care. So that is something that I bring to my passion in work, and I'm excited to also bring it to the DNAU and just support you to get the answers to make you feel confident when you're using this information to support your patients. So thank you.
Well, thank you. And I would love to hear and see in the chat where all of you are coming from. And by the way, Jessica, we are very excited that you are here. So if you want to pop in the chat, let us know where you're from, what you're looking for. And if you haven't already, please fill out that poll. We'll bring that up in just a moment to make sure that everyone here has had a chance to fill that out, because we would love to see those answers. And then we can also help to guide this discussion based on that information, because we truly are here for you. That's what this is all about. And Jessica, I see that you're from Florida. Wonderful. So some nice weather. Unlike some of us up in the Northeast, getting a lot of rain and snow and coldness. And so, well, I want to dive in a little bit for some of the reasons of why we have revamped our DNA University, and not just revamping, but really expanding and diving in to that ocean that is science and information, and so much still yet to explore when it comes to genetics, and how genetics and genomics and epigenetics, how all that can be integrated into personalized medicine. Some of the things that we have done is we have updated our curriculum. We have created a more in-depth student guide, laying out and giving information. So as you are going through the videos, as you are, learning about this information, there's links, there is insights, there is connections that are bullet pointed and provided for you, and also room for you to take your own notes. We have a vocabulary list, a core vocabulary list that we have created that we have found to be very useful. Again, along with links to different sites that are core to this type of information, Snippedia and using PubMed and looking at a lot of these different resources. We have created a book list, and I want to tell you that all of these documents are living documents. We add on to them. We are constantly building upon them to make sure to give you the latest information, the greatest information at that time, as well as those standard, core books and references. That's always key. I see Teresa from Toronto. We've got Jackie from Nebraska or New Brunswick. Sorry, there we go.
Canadians in the house. That's great. I'm
Yes.
Canadian originally, so wonderful. Welcome.
Nice to see you here. Thank you so much. Another aspect that we are offering is you have access to a live educated team. We have really expanded our resources. I mean, very obviously by the brilliance and credential Dr. Crawford here, but we have many other brilliant, credentialed, educated people on the team that are here to help you, that are here to support you. We're going to be offering live Q&As once a month to be able to get that feedback from you, to be able to answer those questions. Of course, we're always available, if you want to submit written questions. I also hold office hours. So we'll be able to integrate, more of a real time, or at least as well as, information where we can get answers to you, especially if you need something right away or need a little support, for clients that you're working with. We also have, well, like I said, the email support, but, if you have questions about further integration into your practice, as far as the financial side, the business side, we have people who just are amazing, who can be here to help you to answer those questions. And something else I wanted to mention is that an incredible offering that we have as part of our functional genomics practitioner certification is that we are now accredited by the AANWP. So the AANWP actually stands for the American Academy of Wellness and Nutrition Professionals. And, we really are very proud of having this course, this program being accredited to offer you that credentials of certification, of knowing that you have the best, solid, bleeding edge information that science has to offer. So I would like, if at this time, if our little angels in the background can bring up the poll, and we will take a look and see what we have. Thank you so much. Okay, so so our first question, what type of practitioner are you? And it looks like we have quite a diverse group, pretty evenly dispersed, because we've got around 33% of you being health coaches, about 22% being nutritionists. We've got 22% being naturopathic doctors, 11% being functional medicine practitioners, and 44% being other. I would love if you could pop in the chat, tell me what it is that you are, if you marked other. And thank you, James. I see that. Pharmacist. Excellent. We actually have a PharmD, as one of our in-house clinicians, Dr. Stephanie Nielsen. Brilliant. She's been on and hosted several of the podcasts, webinars, great information. So you guys can speak the same language also if you have specific questions regarding that. And, I see that you're asking about looking at the pharmacogenetics. Wonderful. That's a fantastic implementation. Some other people, we've got a registered acupuncturist. We've got, let's see, DDS. So I believe that is dentist, right? The functional nutrition therapy practitioner, registered dental hygienist. Beautiful. Love to see the broad spectrum being represented here.
Great diversity.
So, our second question, do you currently incorporate testing, for example, like genetic, hormonal, metabolic, into your practice? And uh, there's a decent share of you, 33%, that said yes, regularly, 11% saying occasionally, but overwhelmingly, more than half say no, but that you're interested in starting. And this truly is the place to start. Uh, Again, offering you such wonderful up-to-date information, a lot of different types of testing, which we'll dive into very shortly, to kind of give you an idea on what else you can offer besides just a genetics testing. And I don't want to minimize the fact of saying just a genetics testing, because that truly is a wonderful foundation to start off one with. And all the other testing that we have that helps to complement that is more of a repetitive testing, because as we all know, your genetics don't change. So your DNA 360 reports, that's kind of a one and done. But it's the other test offerings that we have that can continue with the fleshing out and the enrichment of knowledge and data when it comes to patient care. So our third question was, what is the primary focus of your practice? And uh, we have very overwhelmingly, almost 80% saying general wellness and preventative care. Beautiful. And then we've got 22% of you saying hormonal health and balance. So we don't have any representations for some of our other offering or some of our other options from the question, but love to see you here, because I'm sure that for the general wellness, prevention, that covers all the other stuff as well. So our last question, how important is it for you to practice, or for your practice to offer personalized health plans to your clients? And again, more than half of you, very important that your clients demand it. And isn't it wonderful how we are finding that our patients, our clients, being more informed and realizing the importance of genetics, of these expanded, more functional testing that allows for a broader picture of their health, that provides that personalized service. And then we also have about almost 45% of you said somewhat important, but you'd like to explore that further. So again, you're in the right place. Thank you so much for answering those questions. So I'm just taking a look in the chat and seeing what else we've got. James, you've been watching the webinars. Excellent. I'm so glad. Thank you. And yes, Dr. Stephanie is fantastic. And he also said that they do some hormonal and nutritional counseling, and our DNA 360 has been extremely helpful for him and his family. I am so happy to hear that. Thank you so much for sharing that. So is there anything, Dr. Laughlin, that you would like to comment on, that you would like to talk about? Because what I'm going to do while you're doing that, I'm going to start bringing up some of the forms, some of the PDFs that we have, so I can show them to see what it looks like.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is something that I'm excited to share about because I think it really underpins what we're talking about. There's a lot of prevention, people working in prevention, and general wellness. That I think the genetics piece really solves so much and helps practitioners really drill down into what's important. I think it's easy to get distracted by a huge amount of tests, a huge amount of biomarkers, right? What are we actually looking for? Um, but the testing really helps you hone in and give you that high touch personalized medicine. And the anecdote I want to tell you is that for years I've worked at an inpatient facility that's dual diagnosis, but primary diagnosis, eating disorders and psychiatric disorders. And this is a place where we'll get patients from age 11 all the way up to 99. And I've seen for years, right, people at an inpatient level who have failed lower levels of care, failed, they call it, but people who need higher levels of care, and they're getting up to these inpatient levels and they're really sick and they're really struggling. And what I see is if you line up 100 people in a row and you give them the exact same eating disorder behaviors, for example, right? So they have the exact same behaviors at the same time, at the same intensity every day, restriction, binging, purging, whatever it might be, you are going to get 100 different responses. You're going to get 100 different patients sitting in front of you with completely different experiences of that. They might have symptoms that look like ABC, where another patient might look like DEF, and they don't overlap at all. Right. And so if they come in and sit down in front of you and you say, oh, your diagnosis is the same, I'm going to treat you the same, you're missing so much for those people. And the reason is because of their genetics. The reason is because of the way that their body is going to respond to the environment, the experience that they're going through, the way their epigenetics respond. And so if you can have an idea of what their baseline is and have an idea of why their physiology is responding that way, that really helps you give that individualized treatment so that you're not just, like I said, darts in the dark, starting a treatment. You're really going to be able to have information. And then you're going to know what biomarkers to track over time. That's how we really get a hold on being effective practitioners over time, is that we have this insight now to what to track for people over time, and so that you could really see people get better experientially. Just subjectively, they're going to start feeling better, but you're also going to be able to track that physiologically with their biomarkers, which, as we say, is the ongoing testing that we can learn about. So thank you for letting me share that. It's just a clinical experience that I've witnessed, and we, of course, we know that across any sphere of medicine or any sphere of healthcare, is that you're going to have 100 patients and everyone's going to experience things differently. And genetics is really a big key to help us with that.
Thank you so much. I mean, it really is, it almost seems a little obvious, but when you are explaining it and saying, hey, this is what I'm finding, this is what I see, this is how it helps, it to me solidifies the importance of looking at all these factors, of knowing the genes, of knowing the person sitting in front of you even better than maybe sometimes they can know themselves, and starting to put those pieces together, because it truly is a partnership. People want to be heard. They want to know that the symptoms that they are having are not being dismissed, that they are real, that they are, just that they're going through it. And sometimes just being able to listen to them, giving them the chance to explain and to talk about things, and then we as the practitioners actually listening to those little cues and then showing them their DNA and going, you know what? This is part of the reason why. Validating what they are going through, what they are feeling. I have had so many clients go, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I don't feel like I'm crazy anymore.
Yeah, that validation is so important in healthcare right now. I couldn't agree more with you. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
another piece to that is another piece that I think is really important. Um, I'm losing my train of thought here because I wanted to let you actually keep speaking on that. I think this is a good thread that we're on, so I'm going to let you keep going.
Well, something else that I have noticed, because I have seen many, many patients while I've been working clinically for the DNA company, that, oh, okay, let me back up a little bit. There are several tests that I look at. When someone comes to me in a program, well, of course, we have their DNA 360, but they'll also come in with blood work, with, say, they may have gotten the gut 360 standard or premium test, or the DNA aging standard or premium test, or one of these other tests, but usually a lot of blood work. As I am looking through all of these puzzle pieces, that's how I like to put it, it's all of these puzzle pieces that make up the person in front of me. I use their DNA as the main guide. And as I am looking at all of these and explaining it to them, it starts making more sense. It makes more sense to them. And they can start seeing all of these different spots in the constellation of puzzle pieces starting to come together and working in more of a systems biology, understanding how these things connect. And then, oh, well, your liver enzymes, are off. Oh, well, this is related to, B vitamins, or, some support in detoxification pathways. And then I go to their DNA 360 and I say, well, your methylation pathway, you are dysregulated. Oh, okay. Well, to support your B vitamins, oh, you've been taking these supplements. Well, no wonder they're not working so well for you, because you need this type. So, I mean, it's just, again, putting all of these puzzle pieces together to create this more full and enriched picture that is the patient themselves. And again, I have had so many clients say, oh my gosh, I have never had anyone take a look at all of my labs, at all of these different things, and put it all together. And
Mhm.
it just, it makes them feel so much more seen,
Mm.
more heard, more understood. And, to have a practitioner sitting in front of them who understands it and who can put all of those pieces together. Because honestly, I think of it more like being Sherlock Holmes.
Mm.
It's just, it's kind of knowing what to look for, or knowing what questions to ask. And
Right.
that gets to be like in a skill and an art in itself,
Yes,
of learning about that. So,
absolutely.
did you remember anything else
I
we?
did. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you jogged my memory there. Thank you. I think such a big part of this too, that is so crucial right now is handing back the power to our clients as well, right? Handing back the knowledge about what is going on for them physiologically in their body with their genes and what they can do about it, right? This isn't just a sentence that you receive and you can do nothing about it. You can do something about it. And I think oftentimes in medicine, people get frustrated with their health because they're not getting better. Their doctor isn't really giving them the individualized treatment that they feel that they need, or they're just feeling lost with questions in general. But the problem is that the holders of the knowledge are over there, and the patient isn't really being educated, right? And so this, we get to sit down with the clients and we get to say, this is why, and this is, and they have those epiphany moments of like, oh, this is why I experience stress in this way, or this is why I can't metabolize caffeine, right? And it's gonna turn those moments into taking that power back from them and saying, I can do something about this because I have the knowledge and I've been educated, and I can learn more about it for myself. But there, it really reduces this kind of like invalidated hopelessness that sometimes people can run up against with sometimes simple diseases, but then also chronic diseases. There's a lot of hopelessness and helplessness. So it just really solves a lot of those really crucial problems for people.
And, speaking to the hopelessness, the anxiety, the stress, more working into the mental aspect, which, I mean, this is your sweet spot. Um, our mood and behavior uh, reports are so enlightening. When I
Absolutely.
speak to clients about that, again, getting into, oh my gosh, okay, I'm not crazy. This is the way my brain works. Yeah, it really does empower them, and giving them the tools to understand, okay, yeah, this may be the way your genetics are. This is the reasoning of why you've had the tendencies you've had. But
Mhm.
guess what? Now you're in charge. Now
Right.
you have the knowledge, and I'm practitioners are giving you the tools to be able to start turning those dials, so that way you are not a victim to your genes, to the environment, to these situations, but you go, okay, this is what I have to work with. Now, how do I change the context to make
Right.
sure that I use what I have been given as a superpower? To take a step back and go, okay, I'm going to take that breath. I'm not going to ruminate about it so much. these are other things I can do. And that's, I think where we come in is giving them those tools, that education, that knowledge, so that way putting them back in the driver's seat. Because
Right.
very much what you said, they felt like they were not in control, that, oh, okay, oh, those people with the white coats, when we have to go make an appointment, go to the office, they have to tell me what to do because I don't know. And I
Right.
really think that working in this whole platform, the landscape of personalized medicine, and really meeting the clients, the patients where they are at, and making it a partnership. That
Mm.
is so important. When I tell people, I say, hey, listen, this program, it's not about me, it's about you. You're driving the bus. I'm just your tour guide. I'm just going
Right.
to tell you what's going down this road, what's down here, what to look at, where the potholes are, where the nice spots are, but it's still up to you, that client, that patient, to actually put in the work. I'm the cheerleader, I am the educator, and I am there to fill their toolbox with
Mhm.
all of this fantastic information, whether it's supplements or devices or, lifestyle changes or, whatever the case may be, a diet plan. Okay. The fact that this information, from the information and the data we get from the tests, again, foundationally with the DNA 360, it gives that holistic aspect of education and information, that you can really go anywhere from there, that we are not so siloed and so single sighted to miss the forest, or the forest and the trees, and, looking at it
Yes.
that. So
Yes.
what I want to do, I brought up, going to give y'all a little sneak peek of some of the things that we have put together for you. And I'm going to share screen, and let's see, let's go here. Can everybody see that? If I can get a yes in the chat, let me know that you can see this. Beautiful. Thank you, James. All right. So this is one of the PDFs that you all will have access to, one of many. Okay. This is a glossary of terms that we put together, and really breaking down, the most important ones, especially those that are relevant during the courses, just a quick little looking back to check out, to say, oh yeah, what is that again? Again, really strengthening the background of definitions that will make your learning better, easier, more foundational. So going through, lots and lots of words. And we also put in a link to the reference. There's a beautiful on genome.gov, has fantastic information. And of course, they offer a much broader definition list and information. But here we really have siloed it to a bit that are more specific to the language that we use in the videos, in the student guide, and in the others. So to try to not overwhelm you like a big fire hose, we'll kind of do it a little bit, kind of like if you've ever taken organic chemistry, it can just be like a little overwhelming. Don't want to do that. But we also want to make sure to offer you a lot of really good high level information. So let's see if let me grab another one and give you another little sneak peek here. Let's see. So this one is our methylation reference guide. And here, we walk through going, here's information about methylation. Here's a little more of a deeper dive into how this pathway works, into the different genes, clinical references to each, the presentations that are shown in the reports, how that can be interpreted, lots of great information. So I'm not going to sit on this one too long, but I just wanted to kind of give you, an idea of what else we have. And let me grab one more.
As you're doing that, I can just make a comment on the methylation pathway. That's something that
Yes.
I use so frequently in my practice, and it is really helpful for folks to really kind of understand what could be driving some mood symptoms, but also the downstream effects of how, if you get buildup in certain parts of the pathway or deficiencies in certain parts, you could actually have, significant physical symptoms that show up that you might not think are related to methylation, but lo and behold, they are. So that panel is just an excellent one.
I appreciate that. And I'll tell you, it really is. Methylation is so important for so many aspects, and comp gene, and it really spans across, all of the systems. So definitely a very important resource there. So actually, this isn't the last one I'm going to give you a sneak peek on, but for this one, this is our student guide, and this is quite robust. We've got a lot of information actually walking through, there's a little intro, really walking through the way that you can actually look at and study, and as you're processing the information, different ways to approach it, different ways to interpret the information. Again, leaving you space for your own notes. We've broken it down into going, okay, here are the genes that are reviewed. Here's the RS numbers. Here's some information. A lot of this, Bella and I actually created a lot of it along with Bella as we were doing the courses ourselves, a couple of years ago. I'm very copious with my notes. I like to dive in a lot deeper. One of the things that's kind of a running joke is my SS 5-HTTL-PR. Now, if some of you don't know what that means, that means that I'm very detail oriented. And I mean, sometimes to the extreme, I gotta, pull it back sometimes. But I really like learning a lot more than necessary. I dive into the weeds. I do a lot more research, even though I may never express to the clients all of that information. If I have the deeper knowledge, then I can translate that into language that they understand better. And actually, I also have a degree in education. I was a teacher for over 20 years, curriculum development and teaching from elementary special ed all the way up to university, where I taught anatomy and physiology. So, I have that education background, but it's all the more that it's important for me to know even more, to know all of the biochemical pathways, how everything works, because it lets me see all of those little parts and pieces, the constellation, the puzzle pieces I was talking about, to see how they connect. So the reason I'm saying this is because for those of you out there who may be an SS or an LS yourself and love to dig into the weeds, love to really dive in more yourself, we got you. We've got you covered. If you're not, that's okay. If you're just looking, just kind of let me understand, what each of these genes are, what do they do, how can I just do some general interpretation, and then, work into how can this be applied into action items, we got you there too. You don't have to dig into all the weeds that we provide. We've got summaries. You can scan over things. But the point is, we are offering the education. We have that we update, by the way, update latest science all the time. So that way, if that little science nerd in you starts tickling and you go, I really want to know more about this, again, we got you covered. So,
Absolutely. I agree with you. I'm right on board with you. I was always that intern in whatever class I was taking, whatever training I was taking, always asking, the deeper questions about what do I do if this is the case, if this is the case, right? Like always wanting to know more nuance so that I could be able to really explain it to folks to be as helpful as possible. So I love the detail. I'm right there with you. And it's so important that when teaching, you're going to be able to have all that nuance too. So that's really what we want to bring you in the DNAU.
so the last little sneak peek I'm going to show you all is our syllabus. So, excuse me. So what we have here is, well, a wonderful message from our founder, Cash, as well as a letter from me, but we'll just kind of skim over that. You guys get to read that when you have access. In our table of contents, we actually have sectioned this out. Your functional genomic certification course, information about how it is broken up, the different trainings, your student resources. So all beautifully laid out. Oh, there's our beautiful and brilliant Dr. Krista Kosterman and Dr. Mansour and myself. But here we have it sectioned out into the modules, what topics are being covered, how long the videos are, so you can kind of like gauge and pace yourself ahead of time. Looking at the different areas and what will be covered. Also realizing that some of these do have prerequisites, because as you are moving through, you do have to take little quizzes, and it is just a simple pass or fail type of thing. And then you can move on to the next module. So, but here it's nicely laid out, very clean, giving you the different systems that are covered. And going through, we've got bonus material, the student resources, like I had shown you already, and then how to go through when you're actually finished. And here we've even broken up and separated it out into looking at, okay, here are the different modules. Here are the genes. These are the topics covered. So that way you can actually start seeing it and associating these genes. And I know it looks like a lot of alphanumeric jumble word soup. That'll change. When you start learning and getting used to it and using it in your practice, this information will start coming more readily, and you'll start understanding and remembering all of these genes as you are explaining it to people, and letting them know what to look for when they go back and look at their DNA 360 reports, so they can empower themselves. Because really, like we were saying, a lot of this, we want to get away from the sage on the stage, of patient, just do what we say. We are here to educate them, to help them to learn and empower them so they can continue their health education, to give them back the agency of their own health. Because we're not here to handhold them the rest of their lives. I mean, I love my patients, but I don't want to be handholding them the rest of their lives. I want to help educate them so they can take on that role, so they can continue on and help themselves and also continue to help others. So there are some wonderful things when it comes to our syllabus. And I hope you guys enjoyed that little sneak peek. So let me get back to my other screen here. And we also have, let's see, just brought up a point from our CEO that we are awaiting CEUs, continuing education units approval, that is a tax deduction for practitioners. So this is great for you guys to be able to continue learning, to continue working on these modules that we offer. And we will be adding more modules, more certifications, more information and learning that will be associated with these CEUs. So this information, this university is not going to get stale. I promise you that. We work very hard. We do a lot of research, and we are constantly adding on to bring you the best value possible and to keep up with the speed of science. I mean, again, like I had said earlier, knowledge, research, it is compounded and published more and more every day, the things that we are learning. So what some of you may have learned a couple of years ago, myself included, when I got certified a couple of years ago, the information and knowledge and algorithms and everything else have really just advanced so much. But of course, then again, I'm also helping to advance that, in that information. But I can tell you, it is so exciting. And I am so excited for all of you to be able to see this, to be a part of it, and to continue focused learning on this, to have almost like your one-stop shop of getting up-to-date medical scientific information at your level. Okay. There is language and descriptions that we have and present to our patients and clients, which is absolutely necessary and very fantastic. And we need to learn that language as well. So that way we're not talking over their heads all the time. Okay. We need to present it in metaphors, in, different ways. So that way it makes it meaningful to them. But sometimes I like to get a little more cerebral. I'm like, no, I want to dive into that scientific language. Give me, all the big words and all the pathways and everything else. And I want to dive into that. And so we will also be speaking at that, more in-depth scientific level as well. So we will be able to accommodate a broad spectrum and range of ways that each of you want to learn and want to take in that information.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Wonderful. It makes me really think about just the level of scientific excellence that we have paired with the translation to really be able to make it usable for people.
So I'm seeing if we have any questions. I'm not seeing anything. Okay. So just a reiteration of our program, that our program is accredited, it is recognized. We are at that cutting edge of genomic information, of precision medicine using genomics, functional genomics, actionable, clinically actionable steps in your practice for the person to make it workable, to make it, make it useful, not just for you, for them. Because again, 10, 20 years ago, when we first started, getting all of the genes laid out and genomics and everything else, it still was way up here. So it is really important about making it useful for the client, for your patient. So let's see, let's talk about the next thing. If there's anything that any of you have specific questions on, please throw it in the chat, throw it in the question and answer. We are here to help answer questions, to enlighten you on any interest you may have. So Let's see.
So, hey, Dr. Varden, good to see you.
Hello, thank you. Good to see you.
Thank you. Dr. Crawford, welcome to the team. You are an awesome addition. I know our team and our patients are going to be super excited to work with you, as well as our students. So there's some questions coming in, and I figured I would maybe help out a wee bit and take them on. So someone says, I'm curious about the length of the program. Here's the great thing about this. This is self-paced, right? It's about, an aggregate 40 hours, but some of us don't have 40 hours to sit down and power through, a functional genomics class. Those of us that do, go with God. I'm not that geeky. So, it's one of those things where you can come in, do a module, do the test at the end of that module, and then you can pick up where you left off the next day or a few days later. It's generally 5 business days total, realistically. But that's just the core information, right? That doesn't include your student study guide. It doesn't include the additional collateral that you guys have built for this model, which is really great information. And then separate from that, we do have a genomics mastery option within the system. And we will be updating that. The thing you keep saying about, science keeps growing, we are continuing to evolve with that. And in fact, at the end of this year, we're adding another 50 some odd genes to what we test for. So when that changes, again, that additional information goes into DNAU. The great thing about this particular system is once you are in and have paid your tuition, you have lifetime access. Now, why does that make sense for the student? Very simple. If you build a practice and you become a practitioner and you're doing different testing, we want to keep all of that information in one convenient space so that you've got one reliable vetted source to come back and get that core information. When we have people that get certified, we have patients all over the world. And I do mean all over the world, in all time zones. We are always looking for people to pick up some of that load, but you have to have your CFGP. You have to be able to speak to our tests and understand our tests and be able to do a walkthrough with, of course, you, Dr. Varden, or you, Dr. Crawford, to show that you can take a test and break that down. So that's important to know. Our tuition's $49.99. We are allowing a wait list. This is why all of you got this private invitation. This was not blown out on our social media. So we are allowing a wait list at $34.99. And if you want to have that opportunity, you can email ceo@thednacompany.com and I will answer you directly. The constant training and updating of information comes with you guys doing a webinar once a month. And in that webinar, it's going to be more roundtable. It's going to be less one directional and more the students coming in, asking questions, maybe even providers coming in with case studies and things like that. So this is a constant supported learning environment. Again, very well vetted and consistent with whatever science we know at that particular juncture. So hopefully that helps answer some of the questions. Is there anything that you think I've missed, Dr. Varden or Dr. Crawford?
No, but actually what I am going to mention is a little bit more about the other products that we offer.
Oh, good call. See, that's why you're the Dean of Students and I just work here. That's it. That's how that works. And
Yes,
James,
boss.
I see your message. We'll definitely put you on the list.
So,
Dr. Varden, please.
Absolutely. So yes, we do offer 6 other, 6 tests in total, and actually 2 of them have 2 within themselves. So let me work through. So our DNA 360, that really is our foundational test. That is a comprehensive functional genomics test. It analyzes the genetic makeup to offer personalized health recommendations across various aspects of well-being, diet, detoxification, sleep, mood, nutrition, all of it. Again, that is the foundation. Then we also have the Gut 360. We have the Gut 360 Standard and the Gut 360 Premium. Now, this is a microbiome test. It examines the genetic composition of bacteria and fungi in the gut, provides insight into the microbiome diversity, phyla balance, beneficial species, pathogenic species, additional species. And really the difference between the standard and the premium tests are really the number of things that are tested for. So it really works into, as well as, and I'm sure this question is going through your mind, well, how do I know which one to offer or have a patient or client do? Well, this would really depend on their situation. This is where you, as the practitioner, using your brilliance, your experience, when you have that person sitting in front of you, how complex is their case? Are they having an issue that is really seeming to be more gut related, that a lot of their symptoms, a lot of their issues seem to be gut related? Well, then you'd want to do more of the premium. If it's something that's more of health optimization, they're really not having issues, but they kind of want to know where they're at, what's going on, then, probably go with the standard. But again, this is leaning into your expertise and your relationship with the patient sitting in front of you. So another test that we have is the DNAging. This is standard and premium. The DNAging is an epigenetic test. It assesses the biological age of the client by analyzing epigenetic markers, as well as telomere length. And this really offers personalized recommendations to optimize health and longevity. Another test that we have is the liquid biopsy. This is an advanced cancer detection test. It analyzes specific markers in the blood. It identifies potential cancer risks, aiding in early detection and monitoring. We also have the breast 360 test. This is a non-invasive breast cancer screening test that analyzes specific proteins in tears. This detects like early signs of breast cancer. It really serves as a complement to traditional methods like mammogram. And then finally, we have our GPX. This is our pharmacogenetics test. So this goes to our pharmacist out there who's really looking forward to using that test in your practice. So the pharmacogenetics test, this really examines how your patient's unique genetic makeup interacts with over 165 pharmaceuticals, anesthetics. It really enables that personalized medication selection, dosaging, however your scope of practice can actually utilize that information. But it's always good for them to have, say, they are going to have surgery, or they're, just to have with them, that doctor knowing which pharmaceuticals would work best for them, or that don't, and then they know how to adjust as necessary based on their genetics. Very, very powerful information. So, this is just a sampling of the other tests that we offer. And the beautiful thing about it is that it's not just going, oh, here's a bunch of these tests, there you go. No, we offer walkthroughs, videos of more in-depth information, not just on the test, how to use it, how to interpret it. We've got you covered. So we are here to help you implement the tests that we offer in your practice so you can get the most use and benefit out of them. So that way, these help you to better inform and better personalize the medicine that you are offering to your patients and clients. So I did see. Did you have any comments that you would like to throw in there, Dr. Crawford? I don't mean to monopolize this entire conversation.
No, I love it. I just appreciate you running through the list, because I think it is so comprehensive, and you really can pick what's important for the client that's going to be helpful. And we're going to be there to help, as make all those determinations, so that you're going to be informed all along the way. And I think it's just such a robust pantheon of tests that we have, that we just want you to start using them. So we're just excited.
Mhm. Well, I appreciate that. I mean, I am just so excited and thrilled to be working with you and to being able to work together to help our students. I mean, I've just recently met you, and learning about what you do, and the experience and brilliance you have. I'm just thrilled. It just excites the scientist and nerd in me.
Let's
So
do it. Let's do it together. Absolutely.
I do see some questions in the chat, and I think I may call in our brilliant COO, Allison Henry, on this one, because Valentina asked about if they get leads when they are certified, is there an opportunity for that? Allison, might you be able to chime in on that?
Sure, no problem. Thanks very much. So, generally speaking, anyone that goes through the certification program is definitely welcome to reach out to us and provide us with their CV for consideration, and we can definitely discuss potential opportunities for partnering together in a clinical setting.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And by the way, everyone, this is our amazing and brilliant Allison Henry, our COO of the company. And she's held many roles here at the DNA company, and is just a wealth of information. And of course, she's also here to help out practitioners and understanding of business side and how all of that works. And thankfully, I don't have to know all that. I can pretty much stick to the science and the clinical aspects. So thank you very much, Allison.
You're welcome. It's always good to have both sides of the coin, right? You guys are so brilliant in what you do on the clinical side, but a clinic still has to be able to run efficiently, to be profitable. You guys need to sustain yourselves in order to care for others. So it's important to also keep that aspect in mind as well. And, we do have our provider network, which we invite all of our students to get plugged into so that they can start offering the tests to their patients. And doing that through our wholesale model has been very beneficial for many of the clinics that we work with.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. And I see that Cindy is asking, are clinical consults included with these tests? Now, as far as being able to read, interpret the tests, as you are getting started, in that respect, yes, we can do things like that. Doing some one-on-one calls. Either myself, Dr. Lachlan, or one of our team can actually help with the interpretation. Of course, our monthly live Q&As are available that we can actually help to answer any questions. But I think that our CEO, Tracy, could actually chime in on some of this as well. Would you like to do that, please?
Sorry.
I didn't realize that I wasn't unmuted. So I've been sitting here talking to myself for like 30 seconds. So yeah, we are, again, as the company grows and becomes more in that individualist type of medicine, that delivery model, we are going to be including encounters with each of our tests as we go into the new year. And we haven't made a lot of these announcements yet, but again, you guys are kind of like that first mover group that's getting access to all of this. So yes, we will be doing that. And the great thing, like Allison said, if you are a qualified provider and you've got your CFGP, we will let you come and take some of these patients. I mean, again, we can't be all things to all people. We don't want to compromise patient care. That's why everybody has to have a specific standard, and they do come in via both of you doctors. We make sure that we're delivering the best quality as far as patients and the encounter levels. But yes, there's plenty of that, and there's plenty of work to go around. So if that's something that you're interested in when they enroll, attend the live webinars, right? Dr. Varden, you're going to have them every month. It's going to be like a round table, and you guys can do case presentation and case study. And, we are going to be publishing data next year, a lot of data, anonymized data, by the way, but still definitely publishing some data and building it around that precision medicine model. So hopefully that answers the question.
I hope it did. So thank you very much, for that more thorough explanation. If we don't have any more questions, I think that we will wrap this webinar up. If you do have some last itches of questions, please pop them in the chat right now. Otherwise, I would love to see all of you in our university signed up and ready to go on Monday. I am so happy and excited for this new relaunch of the DNA University. I have been looking forward to this. We've been working so hard on it, and it just excites me. Do a little happy dance. I love this. So oh, thank you, Jessica. I am so glad that you are here, and I'm so glad that you are looking forward to it as well. So any last words, Dr. Lachlan?
Just that I'm right on the page with you. I think this is the training that you as practitioners deserve, and then it's the information that the clients deserve. So we're just going to raise the bar. This is a standard that is the frontier of medicine. It's the bleeding edge, and we just want to do it together. So thank you, Dr. Varden. Thank you so much for this webinar and all the information, and everybody for being here. It's a pleasure.
Thank you again. And to all of you, thank you for being here. You are the new students for this new DNAU, and I hope that we meet the expectations that you have. I'm sure we will. So thank you, and I'm sure we'll see you in class. So take care.
See you soon. Thank you. Take care.